So you are there. Oh, but वो मेरे को पता नहीं, मैं पहले डाल दिया थोड़ी देर बाद और दिस वीक में वो
कि बजयो जयो गौरचान्दे आरती का शोभा हो जयो गौरचान्दे आरती का शोभा कि बजयो जयो गौरचान्दे आरती का शोभा कि बजयो जयो गौरचान्दे आरती का शोभा जाह्नवी ताटवने जगमनलो जाह्नवी ताटवने जगमनलो दकीने निताय चाँद भामी गदाधारा दकीने निताय चाँद भामी गदाधारा एकते अद्वैत श्रीनिवास छत्रधारा अद्वैत श्रीनिवास छत्रधारा Yache Gauraja Ratna Simhasare Diva Boshi Yache Gauraja Ratna Simhasare Diva Boshi Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Goshayadigaya
Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Goshayadigaya
Diva Shanka Baje Ghanta Baje Baje Karatala Diva Shanka
Baje Ghanta Baje Baje Karatala
Diva Shanka Baje Ghanta Baje Baje Karatala Diva Shanka Madhura Mridanga Bade Paramarasala
Madhura Mridanga Bade Paramarasala
Madhura Mridanga Bade Paramarasala Shobha निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
कि बहु कोटि चंद्रजिनी वदन उज्ज्वला कि बहु कोटि चंद्रजिनी वदन उज्ज्वला कि बहु कोटि चंद्रजिनी वदन उज्ज्वला
शिव बहु
कोटि चंद्रजिनी
वदन उज्ज्वला
गलदेशे वनमाला कोर जलमाला
जलदेशे वनमाला कोरे जलमाला
गलदेशे वनमाला कोर जलमाला
जलदेशे वनमाला कोरे जलमाला
शिव शिव सुख नारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा
शिव शिव प्रेमी गदधारा
शिव शिव सुख नारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा
शिव शिव प्रेमी गदधारा
भक्ति विनोदा देखे तोरा संपदा भक्ति विनोदा देखे तोरा संपदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री
कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jayo Radha Madhav Hari Radha Madhav Hari Radhe
Jaya Radha Madhav Hari Radha Madhav Hari Radhe
Jayo Srinaji Gopal Srinaji Gopal Srinaji Gopal Jayo Srinaji Gopal
Jaya Srinaji Gopal Srinaji Gopal Srinaji Gopal Jaya Srinaji Gopal
Jayo Nittai Gaura Hari Jaya Nittai Gaura Hari Jaya Nittai Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari
Jaya Nittai Gaura Hari Jaya Nittai Gaura Hari Jaya Nittai Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari
Jayo Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Maiya
Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra
Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman
Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Bol
Jaya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Gaura Hari Bol
Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Bol
Jaya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Gaura Hari Bol
अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त बिंद की जय। प्रेम से कहिए जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त बिंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेटर बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। राधा माधव हरि भगवान की जय, राधा गोविंद हरि जी भगवान की जय, गौरंग नित्यानंद महाप्रभु की जय, श्रीनाथ गोपाल की जय, इस्कॉन फिनिक्स की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे। ऑल ग्लोरीज हृदय संपन्न हरे कृष्ण, ऑल ग्लोरीज श्री श्री गुरु एंड गौरंग, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
समदेव भगवान की, भला महाराज की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Madhav Hari Dham. On behalf of our presiding deity Shri Shri Radha Madhav Hari, we're happy you are here this afternoon for the Sunday Feast program. We have a special program today. I know that we've had many programs over the last few days, And this morning we had Ram Lala from Ayodhya. His Murti, was here, and we had a program to welcome him. And we also have some prasad from Ayodhya. So Divya Prabhu will probably give it at the blessing time. Those of you who did not receive any, we've saved some for you. So we are very happy to be part of that organizing of bringing Ayodhya Ram Lala to so many temples in the US. Apparently they took him already to 450 temples in the US, and then we were in the second half, and then they also are taking him to 150 temples in Canada as well. So we're very fortunate just staying in the US and getting this opportunity to have his darshan here. So there is some literature they left. I will be scanning and sending it to the congregation in the next couple of days, so be on the lookout for that. And they also donated a picture of Lord Ram for our temple as well. So thank you all for attending today. If you came this morning, it was a nice program. And we're going to continue now with our Bhagavad Gita session. We have our own His Grace HariHara Narayana Prabhu. He's a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. He's part of our temple council. He's been serving ISKCON of Phoenix for several years with his wife Sugamini Devidasi, and they both have done a lot of seva for the temple in the background, and we miss them at the moment. They always used to serve for our Japa tent program for Janmashtami and the Rath Yatra. They have a little baby boy, so they have their own deity now to serve at home, so we miss your service there, but he's still taking care of the Sunday feast schedule, and Mataji is also helping with some of the flyer services as well. So we are really grateful to both of them for their service, and we pray that they will keep progressing in their spiritual life. So Prabhu is a good kirtanier. As you saw, he just recited, he did the kirtan for the Sandhya Arati. Thank you, Prabhu, very much. And today's topic is going to be the modes bind the soul. That's the topic, and it's from Bhagavad Gita. We're going to be reading verses 5 to 9 from chapter 14. So without taking much of your time, we'll have HariHara Narayan Prabhu come and enlighten you all. Hare Krishna. I'm so sorry, I need to come back again. So ISKCON suffered a huge loss today at 9:20 India time, 5th of May. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj left his body, and we're very sad. We've dedicated the whole day's programs actually to Maharaj. And even this evening's, the rest of the program is dedicated to Maharaj. We started this morning with prayers for him. And Maharaj had a lot of disciples, and he was a true servant of ISKCON. He followed Srila Prabhupada to a T. He followed all the instructions from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he really was he had a lot of services in India. He was, part of the GBC and the BBT over there, and he was also chairman of GBC in India, and he was. He's going to be sorely missed. He was a very, very important figure, where he also represented ISKCON in various government circles there as well. He was always, looking after ISKCON, and his instructions even to his disciples, leaving his body, are to stay with ISKCON and be dedicated to the mission of Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like he did. And I will always remember him. He has visited Phoenix a couple of times, and he always, said cooperate with each other, and be devoted. He was very much into asking us to be good devotees, and words are failing me right now, but he'll be sorely missed. We are going to have a program, and we'll have offerings made to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj in the next couple of weeks, and we can all talk about him. But he's going to be leaving a very, very big void in ISKCON. He was a senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He worked with Srila Prabhupada very closely and followed his instructions, just like Srila Prabhupada followed his Acharya's instructions. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. We are going to recite the Mahamantra 3 times for Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody to the Sunday Feast class today at ISKCON of Phoenix. Mataji mentioned about Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He is a very, very big figure, and he is a very elevated Vaishnava. And he was a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And Maharaj was the GBC in Delhi, and fortunately, while I was in Gurgaon, Maharaj used to be there. Our base was under Maharaj's tutelage. And I still remember one instance where Maharaj has so much attention to detail and is so specific about purity and cleanliness. And he used to visit all our base ashrams and then see like how the standards are. And then I remember that time while I was as an ashram person, so we started 3 days before Maharaj's visit to start cleaning the base, so that not even a speck of dust was visible. So he stayed there for just 5 to 10 minutes, but just that presence and the impact he had was like so amazing. So that's a huge loss, and I pray to Maharaj to bless us and help us progress in the process of Krishna consciousness. So, Hare Krishna. So we'll start with Pranam Mantra. So we'll start with the prayers to the Guru. Om Ajnanatimira Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tatati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Patakamalam Hey Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Raghunathanvitam संजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटि वैष्णववृन्द की जय। So we'll get started with today's verse. Before we get started, we'll read the verses, but I just wanted to, we have been reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita for a long time now. We started from chapter 1 and we are at chapter 14. So I just wanted to embellish the glories of Bhagavad Gita so that we'll be able to appreciate how important Bhagavad Gita is. So there is a composition by Sripad Adi Shankaracharya and it's called Gita Mahatmyam. So he says, Sarvopanishado gavo dokta gopalanandana partho vatsa sudhir bhokta duktam gitamritam mahat. So this Bhagavad Gita is called Gita Upanishad. And if you see, there are so many Upanishads, about 350 Upanishads, and of them the primary is like 13. And it's impossible for us to go and read all these Upanishads and get the crux of it. So, but Bhagavad Gita is considered as if a cow is a representation of all these Upanishads, and the milkman is Lord Shri Krishna, and the Vatsa is the calf, is Arjuna. So in that situation, Krishna is milking the essence from all the Upanishads and giving it to Arjuna, and that is the essence of all the Upanishads which we can get just from reading the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is very, very important, and it's one of the foremost literatures which we'll have to read so that we can make progress in the spiritual life. So that's one verse. And the second verse is from Sripad Adi Shankaracharya again. He says, Eko Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam, Eko Devam Devaki Putra Eva, Eko Mantram Tasya Namani Yani, Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. So it says, Eko Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam. So if you want to read one Shastra for your entire life, that Shastra should be Bhagavad Gita. And then he says, Eko Devam Devaki Putra Eva. Only one Lord you should worship for your life, which is Devaki Putra, who is Lord Shri Krishna. And he says, Eko Mantram Tasya Namani Yani. So there are so many names for Lord Shri Krishna, and that's the only mantra which you need to know. And the only work you need to do is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. So that goes on to say the importance of Bhagavad Gita. So with that intention, let's start today's lecture. So today's discussion is going to be on the modes of material nature, which is the chapter 14, and the entire chapter is dedicated to the three modes of material nature, how they impact us, and how we can get out of these three modes of material nature. So just to give a segue, we start from the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The last verse of the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, if one gets the knowledge of the body and the knower of the body. If one gets the knowledge of the body and the knower of the body, and if one knows that the soul is always trapped by the modes of the material nature, if one gets that wisdom, then one is eligible to get to spiritual elevation. So this is how Krishna concludes the 13th chapter. So with this, we'll see what Krishna says here, and the topic is going to be how the three modes of material nature binds the soul. So we'll read the verses, and then we'll continue our discussion today. So just give me a second. Close it down. It's okay, you can probably do it this way. Okay. So text 5. Sattvam rajastamaiti gunah prakriti sambhavaha nibadnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Translation. The material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakamanayam sukasangena badnati jnana sangena chanaga. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than others, is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. Text 7. Rajo ragatmakam viddhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to the material fruitive actions. Text 8. Tamastva ajnanajam viddhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabis tannibadnati ma bharata. O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness born of ignorance is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode are madness, indolence and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Text 9. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata jnanam avritya tu tama pramade sanjayatyuta. Translation. O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one to fruitive action, and ignorance covering one's knowledge binds one to madness. So these are the verses we've discussed today. So we're going to discuss today. So this is chapter 14, text 5 to 9. So let's talk about what this is talking. Let's just summarize before we delve into details. So here Lord Sri Krishna is saying that there are three modes called Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, and they are binding the souls. It says Dehe Dehinam Avyayam. So these three modes are binding the soul to the body forever, Avyayam, for eternity. So that's the crux of these, all the messages here. And Krishna is going to elucidate, saying like, what is the mode of Sattva? What are the characteristics of mode of Sattva? What is Rajas? What are the characteristics of Rajas? What is Tamas? What are the characteristics of Tamas? And what are the things which come from these Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, and how they bind the soul. So that's going to be the crux of our discussion here. So before we get into that, let's first take a step back and see how we perceive reality and what is consciousness. So if we think of soul as a light, right, and then the symptom of soul is consciousness. So consciousness can be thought of, I'll just flip to this one. This is an image, you can just visualize this. So soul is like a light source, and then light is coming from it. So consciousness is the light coming from the light, so source of light. And the consciousness has two aspects. Just like light, it gives us illumination and perception of what is around us. And second thing is like electricity, it creates action. So those are the two things which happen because of consciousness. So with this we understand how we perceive reality basically. So soul, through its interaction, through consciousness, it creates perception and creates actions. So this process, if you think about any physical event which happens in the material world, right? So somebody comes and talks to us, there are two steps. There's a two-step process by which we have an experience of this action. So for example, there is a physical reality, and then there is mental reality, and then there is soul, right? So there is a mental plane between the soul and the physical reality. So we can take an example. So depending on the mental platform or the mental conception, the experience which we perceive is totally different. So for example, if somebody says that at the end of this lecture we're going to have gulab jamun, and if somebody likes gulab jamun so much, they will be eagerly awaiting for the gulab jamun, and they will be very happy that they are going to enjoy the gulab jamun at the end of the lecture. I don't know if Partha Prabhu has gulab jamun planned today, but I'm just mentioning that. So, but if somebody has diabetes and they are not they are not allowed to eat any sugar, then they will think, oh, this rueful disease has come to me and I won't be able to enjoy gulab jamun, right? So then it so happens that the plan gets cancelled and the sweet becomes something else. So the person who initially thought that he would enjoy gulab jamun in the first, now he is disappointed because he doesn't have gulab jamun. But the person who had diabetes, now he is a little happy because nobody is getting served gulab jamun, right? Just because of the physical event is the same, but the perception which the person had is totally different. And this is because of the mental conception, right? So this mental conception or the mental plane is where the three modes of the material nature impact. So if we think about what happens is, we have a physical event and the same event impinges on the mind, and then we have a perception of what that event is. So that's why we have different types of living entities. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Karanam Gunasangasya Sadasad Yoni Janmashu. Because of the interactions of the three modes of material nature, we have so many varieties of living entities. There are 8.4 million species of living entities, and even among the living entities, each living entity is different, and the way they interact is different because of these three modes. So these three modes are highly impactful, and the place where they impact is on the mind. Right? So with that context, now let's get into the descriptions of the three modes which Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita. The three modes which are described are Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So Sattva is, if you want to think about it, we can think of these as three psychological states, just to give us a bit more insight into it. So Sattva is the mode of goodness, and Rajas is the mode of passion, and Tamas is the mode of ignorance. And so Krishna says, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatva Prakashakam Anamayam. The characteristic of Sattva Guna is that it is Prakashakam and Anamayam. So, and it is Nirmalatva. So it doesn't have any mala. So it is completely pure, and one does not involve in sinful activities. So I was listening to a lecture by Chaitanya Sharan Prabhu, and he says that we can easily identify the people in these three modes. So the person in Sattva Guna, so these, if you see the categories, these people, the first type of people are the people who are who watch how things happen, and second thing are the people who make things happen, and third type of people are people who wonder what happened, because they really don't know what happened, right? So the first type of people are Sattva Guna, so they are in the mode of conscious awareness. So the mode of Sattva Guna is the closest to the soul, and the conscious awareness is the quality of the soul. Sat Chit Ananda is the quality of the soul. Since it's very close to the quality of the soul, so we are able to perceive everything. So when we say Prakashakam, it doesn't mean that every part of our body becomes illumined. What it means is that the person who is in the mode of Sattva is in such an awakened state that he knows exactly what is happening around him. So it's a conscious, every action is taken with a conscious thought behind it. So the mode of passion, so the mode of Sattva, let's again more talk detail about the mode of Sattva. So it says, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatva Prakashakam Anamayam. But if everything is good, if it is close to the mode of how the soul performs, then why does Sattva bind people, right? Sattva binds people because you are attached to Jnana Sangena and Sukha Sangena, Jnana Sangena. Sukha Sangena is getting attached to happiness, and Jnana Sangena is getting attached to knowledge. So practically we can see this example in the material world, like we have philosophers, scientists and poets. All these people, they are so engrossed in solving the problems of the material world, and they get knowledge out of it and they get happiness out of it, but they are so bound to this process of gathering knowledge and getting happiness out of it. So that's how the mode of Sattva binds the living entity. Right. But one thing to understand is that the mode of Sattva is the launch pad from which we can go past all the three modes. Right. So it's the best of the lot, to say. Right. So now moving on to the mode of Rajas, the Lord Krishna says, Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi. So Rajas is fully composed of desire and lust. So the word Rajas itself in Sanskrit means dust. So if you want to think about it, something is covered by dust is how the mode of Rajas operates. So there is beautiful verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam which use this word Rajas, and I just wanted to use one from the prayers which Bhishma Dev prays. Like he sees Krishna in the battlefield and he says, Yuditu Raga Raja Vidumra Vishwa kachalulitatsramavaryalankritaasye. Lord Shri Krishna, Bhishma Dev sees Lord Shri Krishna in the battlefield, and Krishna has been completely bruised with all the arrows and everything which Bhishma Dev has thrown at him, and his face is completely covered with dust. So that's the Rajas which is covering Lord Shri Krishna, and that's the divine Rajas. And the gopis also pray that Dina Parikshaye Nila Kuntalair Vanaruhananam Bibradavritam Ganarajasvalam Darshayanmur Manasinasmaram Virayachasi. So the gopis pray, "Oh Lord Shri Krishna, we are so excited to see you, because at the end of the day you come to us, and then Neela Kuntala, you have Neela Kuntala in your ears, and then your face is so beautiful like a lotus, and it is covered with rajas, which is the dust, Gana Rajasvalam." So this dust which is covering, so Krishna says is Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi. So the characteristic feature of the Rajoguna is that it is covered with lust. And then there are two characteristics for the mode of Rajas, which is Trishna and Sangha. Trishna, Sangha, Samudbhava. So Trishna is hankering, and then Sangha is attachment. So if you see the different planes of existence, Srimad Bhagavatam characterizes the different planes of existence in this material world as 14 planetary systems. So we are currently in the Bhur Loka. So we say like Bhuloka, right? So it's because we are in the Bhuloka. So this is the middle planetary system. And above this there are 6, and below this there are 7. So we are in the middle planetary system. And Lord Shri Krishna says that if one is in the mode of passion, they stay in the middle planetary system. And if one is in the mode of sattva, urdhvam gachanti sattvata, one gets to the higher planetary system. And adho gachanti tamasa, if one is in the mode of ignorance, then one goes down to the lower planetary system. So these planetary systems are, we are in the Bhuloka. Above this is Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, and Satyam. Satyaloka is where Lord Brahma resides. And then below this are all the hellish planets. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, and Patala. All these are 7 planetary systems below. So depending on the mode with which one lives his life, and at the time of death, whatever mode predominates, based on that, this is the places where we eventually end up in, right? So what this means is, since we are talking about the mode of Rajas, we are in the middle planetary system. So the predominant factor here is the mode of Rajas. So we can see this evidently happening everywhere, right? So people here are extremely fruitive. They want to have explore this material world and then make profit, see how we can exploit this material creation so that we can have more enjoyment, is how the people in this plane typically work, right? So this place is a place of Rajas. And so that's what Krishna says, karma sangena dehinam. Because of attachment to fruitive actions, this mode of Rajas binds the living entity to this material world. So that's about the mode of Rajas. And we see examples of them. For example, even the normal people who want to have investments in stock market. The stock market is like completely up and down. So they are anxious to see like what is going to be their profit the next day. How are they going to retire? So this is commonplace because the mode of Rajas is predominating. And the last mode is the mode of ignorance. So the mode of ignorance is called tamas, and Krishna says tamas tu ajnanajam viddhi. So the mode of tamas predominates. What predominates is ajnana. So there is no knowledge. So if there is no knowledge, then the characteristic of the soul doesn't come out, because soul is sat chit ananda. So sat chit, so chit is completely conscious, so it knows exactly what is going on and everything. But if that is covered by the mode of ignorance, then there is complete ajnana. So the characteristic of mode of tamas is ajnana, and then the way it captivates the living entity is through mohanam sarvadehinam. Mohanam is illusionment. So if one is completely covered by the mode of ignorance, then there is complete illusion. And the 3 characteristic features of the mode of ignorance are pramada, alasya, and nidra. So pramada, the word pramada, etymologically, if you see the word mad, come from pramada, right? So the pramada means madness. And then alasya is indolence, not being able to do any activity. And then nidra is sleep. So that's the characteristic of the mode of ignorance. So we see people in the mode of ignorance, for example, drug addicts, right? So they are completely addicted to the drug and they can't think anything beyond the drug. So even for that matter, caffeine addiction is an addiction. So cigarette addiction is an addiction. So people who are addicted to this, they are not able to get past and think beyond what their addiction is. And that's because their knowledge is covered. And that is completely predominated by the mode of ignorance, right? So one thing to note is that none of these three modes exist in pure state, right? Sattva doesn't exist as pure sattva, Rajas doesn't exist as pure Rajas, and Tamas doesn't exist as pure Tamas. So even if you take the day is, the morning begins with Brahma Muhurta. The Brahma Muhurta time is the mode when Sattva predominates. And during the day, when sun is up, that is the time when Rajas predominates. And during night, when every living entity goes to sleep, Tamas predominates. So even in the nature, you see that there is predomination of these different three modes of material nature happening. But when you say a person is in the mode of Sattva, Rajas or Tamas, what we mean is that one of these modes completely predominates. Right? So I'll have a couple of analogies here which we'll try to see like how we can explain this a little better. So one thing which I was thinking about is about these three pictures, right? The first picture is about a transparent object, right? If you see a transparent object, that is what it does is it takes light in and lets light through as it is, right? With some refraction going on, but it's almost, you'll be able to see the quality of light through. So this is similar to the mode of Sattva. So Sattva is able to completely show what the characteristic of the soul is. So that is the mode of Sattva. And the mode of passion is translucent, where the characteristic of the light is altered by whatever is there in the translucency. So it basically alters the quality of light. So that thing which alters the quality of the light is the raga and then lust and desire, which Lord Sri Krishna explains. And then the third mode is completely opaque object, where if you pass light through it, light just stops and doesn't go beyond it. So that is the mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So the mode of ignorance is complete darkness, where we are not able to see what our true position is. Right? So that's one way of understanding these three modes of material nature. But the word guna, right? So the three modes of material nature we call in Sanskrit as guna. And the word guna means a rope. So what does a rope do? A rope typically binds people, right? So even though these three modes have a hierarchical structure, the Sattva is considerably good, and then Rajas is bad, and Tamas is the worst, right? So there is a hierarchical structure. But even there, all the three bind the soul because of certain things, right? So there should be something beyond this, right? So there should be something beyond Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And that state is called Shuddha Sattva, where one understands the constitutional position of the soul, which is the part and parcel of Krishna. So that state is called the Shuddha Sattva state. So Krishna talks about this state in multiple places in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samas sarveshu bhuteshu madbhakti labhate param. So he says, if one is in the Brahma Bhuta state, where one has completely gone past these three modes of material nature, then he doesn't have any lamentation and he doesn't fear. So that is the characteristic of a person who has gone past all these three modes. But till then, the three modes are completely, they have the capability to bind the living entity. And Krishna says, Dehe Dehinam Avyayam. So they are capable of binding the living entity forever in this material world, right? So that's the potency of these three modes of material nature. And one may wonder, why are these three modes so powerful, right? Because it's also an energy of Krishna. So the three modes of material nature are also energy of Krishna, right? So another way to visualize or understand these three modes is through the color spectrum, right? So in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it is mentioned that the mode of Sattva can be visualized as a yellow color. And then the mode of passion can be visualized as red color. And then the mode of ignorance can be visualized as blue or black color, right? So if you see the primary colors, it's red, yellow, and blue. So with these three colors, you can form the entire color gamut. So if it's just an example here, so if yellow and blue mixes, it becomes green. Similarly, yellow, blue, and black and red mixes, it becomes black. So all these different colors are just different mixtures of the same colors, right? The primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow. So you see the color spectrum here, which is just all these different combinations of these same colors, but there is infinite number of combinations. And because of these infinite number of combinations is why we have so many types of living entities. Because of these different combinations of sattva, rajas and tamas, and whatever predominates, that's the reason why we have different types of living entities. Not only in this world, all the way till Brahma Loka, right? So, but one thing to understand as a common factor in all these is, Krishna says, Brahma Bhuvanan Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. So even if you go to the highest place, which is the Brahma Loka or Satya Loka, the living entity has to come back, and he just revolves in this 14 planetary systems, right? So this is a very important statement. So one may think that being in the mode of goodness is excellent, right? But you should not just stay there, but because it is binding us with this tendency to enjoy and also the tendency to have knowledge. So, but think about the mode of goodness as a platform by which one can move away to the mode of Shuddha Sattva. So, first question, so that's in brief about what the three modes of material nature are, and we saw some analysis in terms of how these three modes of material nature occur and how they impact the living entity also, right? So now this is the Pashyan portion where I had some PowerPoint, but now I'm just going to talk from this point onwards. So, so with this, the first question which comes is like, why does the three modes of material nature bind the living entity, right? So what causes the three modes to bind the living entity? Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mama Ivamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So we are Krishna's part and parcel. Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita. So if that is so, why does the three mode bind us? Because that's explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Rishabhadeva talks to his sons about the process of the devotional service. So he says that the reason why the living entities are bound by the material nature is because of the principle called aham and mameti. So we think that this is mine, and this belongs to me, and this is all mine, right? So this is the root cause of all the problems, and this is the root cause of why the three modes of material nature bind the soul. So I was just thinking about, I have a small son, like he's 13 months old now, and if you show him in front of the mirror and you ask him, who is this in the mirror? He says, Nan, Nan, Nan. He says, that's me, right? So this is the starting point. This is good. That it's an important milestone in the process of development, and this is how the theory of mind develops. But this is the root cause of all the problems. And Srimad Bhagavatam explains there are different types of attachments, and the attachments Srimad Bhagavatam mentions are Atma Jaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandhushu. So Atma is the body and the self, Jaya is this wife, and then Sutta is this children, and then Agara is the residence which we live, and Pashu is the animals and the vehicles which we have, and Dravina is the wealth, and Bandhu is the relatives. So these are typically the things where people are attached to, right? So these are the ones which causes the bondage, and this is what causes us to be acted upon by the three modes of material nature. So I'm just explaining this to show that it's very difficult to get extricated from the process, from these three modes of material nature. And Krishna explains in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma karta ahamiti manyate. So he says, the three modes of the material nature, so namely the sattva, rajas and tamas, these are the ones which actually does any action in this world. But the living entity, because of ahankara, he thinks that he controls everything. So this is actually vimudatma. He calls it vimudatma. So that's the power of the three modes of material nature, and it all comes from the process where we think it's me and mine. So Srila Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says, it actually is a verse from Narada Pancharatra. So it says, Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatpena Nirmalam. So he says, Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam. So the word Upadi is called designation. And Adi is our true designation. Our true designation is that we are the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Upadi is all these designations we attach to ourselves because of false ego. And it can, I may think that I'm a son, I'm a father, I am an engineer, I have so many designations, right? All these designations are the reasons why we are bound to this material world. So if we want to serve the Supreme Lord, which is Rishikena Sevanam Bhaktiruttama. So one has to get rid of all these designations, and by that one will be able to surrender and understand it, one's true designation, which is a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, but without that, it's very, very difficult to get extricated from these three modes of material nature. So to exemplify the effect of these three modes, I want to just share a story which is from the Mahabharata. And Krishna, after having killed Kamsa in Mathura, so he's killed Kamsa, then he goes to the home of Akrura, and then he is talking to Akrura. I just want to know how my devotees Pandavas are doing in Hastinapur. I've been hearing that they have been subjected to a lot of problems. I just want to go and find, can you go and find out for me like how they are doing? So Krishna is Mam tu Vedana Kaschana. He knows everything going on in everybody's heart, but he still wants Akrura to go and find out, because it's a chance for Akrura to see how his devotees react in his absence. So Akrura goes to Hastinapur. Initially he's seeing Vidura and Mother Kunti in the courtyard, and then Akrura goes to them and then asks them how they are being treated. And Krishna told me that you have been meted out with a lot of injustice. How is Dhritarashtra treating you? So Vidura started saying that they have been meted out with a lot of injustice, starting from getting poisoned with a poison cake, and then the entire palace being set to fire, and then sent to Vanavas and everything. So they have been not treated well, right? So that's what Vidura told Akrura. And then Mother Kunti said that I actually there is so much injustice that I almost feel like I am a lamb in front of a herd of jackals. And she started crying because now she is missing Krishna so much. And she says, Vipadas santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhava darshanam. So Kunti Maharani says, let these difficulties come to me again and again, because these are an opportunity, because Krishna comes to protect me. So that's the quality of Mother Kunti. Even at the face of adversity, she is actually seeing Krishna's hand in everything, right? And then she says, Vishan Mahagni Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabaya Vanavasa Krichirtaha Mride Mride Neka Maharatastrato Draunestashakna Harebi Rakshitaha. So Krishna protected us when this poison, when the food was poisoned. He gave idea through Vidura so that we can get out of this palace. And then he protected us when there was a lack in the forest fire. The palace was set to fire. And then he protected Bhima when the poison cake was consumed. And then he protected us when on multiple times when there was these arrows from these different people hitting us. So Krishna is the one who is protecting us in all these situations. And then Akrura paid obeisance to them, and then he wanted to hear the story from Dhritarashtra in terms of what he thinks. So then Dhritarashtra is a very diplomatic person, and then Dhritarashtra seeing Akrura coming to him, he said that everything is going good, and then everybody is being treated equally. And then Akrura, having known the background, he asked Dhritarashtra that this kingdom does not belong to you, because the rightful heir to this kingdom is Yudhishthira Maharaj. You are just a caretaker king, but why don't you give back the kingdom to Yudhishthira Maharaj? And then don't you know that the Pandavas are the disciples of, the devotees of Lord Shri Krishna? Why do you met out so many injustice to them? So then Dhritarashtra says, I do understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Dhritarashtra saying. He says that I do understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I know that anybody who follows Krishna's will, they are in the right path of Dharma. But I am so attached to my sons, and I'm so attached to my ministers who are giving me this instruction, that I've gone so deep into this that I've done so much injustice, I don't see a way out, right? So this is actually the mode of ignorance and passion which has completely taken over Dhritarashtra, and he's not able to think clearly. Despite a guidance and advice from Vidura in multiple occasions, he's not able to see clearly because of the influence of the mode of ignorance and passion. So Dhritarashtra knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still, because of the modes of influence of the modes, he's not able to think clearly. So that goes on to say the impact the modes has on a living entity, right? And this creates an inertia, because the more and more we involve ourselves in the modes of passion and ignorance, it's more difficult for us to extricate from these modes. So that's why in our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy and in ISKCON, we have these 4 regulative principles. We have no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling, right? So these are the 4 pillars with which any initiated devotee from the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy takes as a life and soul. Because these 4 principles are by nature not transcendental, but they help one to come to the platform of sattva. When one comes to the platform of sattva, then one gets knowledge, and then from there it's a launch pad from which one can understand his true nature and take to the process of Shuddha Sattva, right? So that's the overall process, right? So one pastime. So one might wonder, how do one extricate oneself from this modes of material nature? So Lord Sri Krishna explains this in the Bhagavad Gita as well. He says that these modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome. He says, Daivihi yasha gunamayi mama maya durateya mameve prapattante maya metam tarantite. So these 3 modes of material nature called Daivihi Prakriti is very difficult to overcome. But if one surrenders unto me, then it is easy for you to cross this. So then he says, Mamcha avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevata sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So if one does avyabhicharena, without any contamination, true bhakti to Krishna, he says that one will be able to cross sagunan samatityetan, one will be able to cross these 3 modes of material nature, right? So one example which comes to my mind is the example of Gajendra from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Gajendra, this is from the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Gajendra is the king of elephants. So he is in this heavenly realm. And we can think about even elephants in this material world, right? Male elephants are extremely powerful. They can uproot trees in an instant. So Gajendra was very, very, very powerful. And he's in a heavenly realm, and that too in the Krita Yuga, Satya Yuga, right? So he's extremely powerful, and he is moving along these Trikuta mountains with all his friends and family, and they're having a very happy and a merry time. And Gajendra walks along and he sees this lake. This lake is very beautiful because it's in the heavenly planet. It's so beautiful. The water is of the right temperature. It's so glistening and it's so fragrant and it's so enticing for Gajendra to come and enter this water. And then Gajendra enters the water, but he does not know that there is a crocodile which is waiting just to catch hold of Gajendra, right? So he walks through this water and he starts splashing along this water all through all his relatives, and he has a very frolicking and a merry time. And just from the words of Netrahin Surdas, he composed a bhajan on this entire pastime. So I like to sing that and also describe this pastime. So Surdas says that Nira Pivan Karana Gayo Sindhu ke kinare Sindhu beach बसत ग्राहे सिंधु बीच बसत ग्राहे चरण धरि पचारे चरण धरि पचारे. So Gajendra entered the water, and now this crocodile from the water has actually come and caught hold of his feet. So Gajendra is extremely strong, but what is to be known is that Gajendra is strong in the land, but the crocodile is so powerful in the water. So now there is battle going on between Gajendra and the crocodile, and the crocodile is trying to pull Gajendra down. So and it's mentioned that the fight was so intense that there were times when Gajendra was winning, times when the crocodile was winning, and times when there was a tie. And then it says, Nakakan duban lage, Nakakan duban lage, Krishna ko pukare, Krishna ko pukare. He Govind, He Gopal, He Govind, He Gopal, He Govind. Rakho Sharan ab to Jeevan Hare, He Govind. So Gajendra fought so hard, and now the crocodile is pulling him, and his eyes are covered with water. He's not able to breathe. And at that time, he reached out to Krishna, because Gajendra in his previous life was Indradyumna Maharaj, and he had done devotional service in his previous life, and because of his past life, karma, he's been remembered. He got this idea that Krishna exists, and he's reaching out to Krishna in the state of despair. And he reached out to Krishna, and then that sound goes to Krishna, and it said, Dwaraka me shabad gayo, Dwaraka me shabad gayo, Garuda dari sidare, Grah ko maar ke Gajraj ko puware, Grah ko maar ke Gajraj ko puware. Sound goes to Krishna, and Krishna hears that Gajendra is in despair. And now Krishna comes so fast in his Garuda, and he cut the crocodile and relieved Gajendra of his pitiful condition. So before this, Gajendra prays so profusely to Krishna with choice words called Uttama Shloka, and he reads about like 30 verses, but I'll just read like 3 verses from the Gajendra Moksha Stotra. He says, Jiji Vishena Hamiha Muyakim Antarbahishcha Vrataye Bayonya Ichchami Kalena Nayasya Tatiplavas Tasyatma Loka Varanasya Moksham Soham Vishwasrijam Vishwam Avishwam Vishwavedasam Vishwatmanamajam Brahma Pranatosmi Padam Padam Yogarandita Karmano Hridi Yoga Vibhavite Yoginoyam Prapashyanti Yogesham Tam Natosmyaham. So Gajendra, in this despair situation, he prays that I am put in this body of an elephant. Oh Krishna, please relieve me from this material condition. I just don't want to be in this material body anymore. So that's the prayer Gajendra prays. And then Krishna comes and relieves him, and then Gajendra offers lotus flowers to Krishna, and then he gets mukti at that point, right? So that's the pastime of Gajendra. So we can take a lot of points for our daily life from this story. One is that we are all like Gajendra. We are in this ocean of material world, and we don't know when this crocodile called Maya is going to come and catch us. So we might have good parentage, we might have good education, good salary, good knowledge, but good children, everything, but there is just this material nature called crocodile just waiting us to catch. So the only way for us is to hold on to the feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and pray to Him profusely, so that He will be able to protect us at the time. So that's the pastime which explains that the only way to get out of this bondage of this material modes is to reach out to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the process by which we do this is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So anything which we do in the temple, like for example, dressing the deities, doing deity worship, waking up early in the morning, chanting our rounds, and then all these are things which we do as a process of Vaidhi Bhakti. All these are step-by-step process by which one transcends these modes. Even if one starts as in the mode of ignorance and passion, just by the process of devotional Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti or the devotional service, one will be taken to the platform of Sattva and eventually taken to the platform of pure God realization. So that's the process of Shuddha Sattva. I just want to end with one story of Valmiki Muni. Before he became Valmiki Muni, he was actually called Ratnakar, who was a hunter, right? So he was so crude and cruel that he used to be a hunter. He used to kill animals and watch them drip, the blood dripping from the animals. So this is so much in the mode of ignorance and passion, right? So Ratnakar, because of the mercy of Narada Muni, he was given this mantra, the mantra of Lord Ram. He was in a conditioned position that he wasn't even able to chant the name of Lord Ram. That was his conditioned position. But because of the causeless mercy of Narada Muni, he was able to chant Mara, 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 and gradually his heart got cleansed, and he became Valmiki Muni, and he gave us this timeless epic or the story of Lord Ram, and that goes on to say the impact of the process of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and also the importance of mercy of Vaishnavas and the importance of associating with devotees. So with that, I would like to end my lecture. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. Hare Krishna. So if anyone has any questions or comments, you can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for wonderful class and melodious kirtan. It was very inspiring. My question is, you mentioned that we are constantly being attacked by different modes of material nature. Even as practicing devotees, at least I can talk about my experience. I feel like sometimes I'm impacted by mode of passion. So what are some practical ways by which we can be situated in mode of goodness?
Yeah. Prabhu, as I mentioned, all the three modes are highly transitory, right? So we definitely move from one mode to the other. For example, if we want to sleep, we have to have the mode of ignorance to predominate. But when we say that we are predominantly in the mode of, what we say is predominantly in the mode of goodness, right? So when one thing which I heard in the lecture by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj is that if one is in the if one sees that we are constantly attacked by these three modes, if one gets into passion or ignorance, the best refuge we have is this 9 processes of bhakti. We have Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam and Atma Nivedanam. So we can hold on to any of these processes of bhakti at that time and then pray to Krishna that he gives us the strength to tide over it. So one thing which I try to do, which has worked for me, is Vandanam, which is to recite the prayers. So there are different prayers in the Srimad Bhagavatam by different devotees, and if we take to that mood, then what I've seen is that those are like portals which take us to that different level of consciousness, and because these are pure devotees talking these to Lord Krishna, it has an impact on our consciousness as well, and it helps. But that's one practical way which I can think about. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful class about the modes. So one question I've always had is, it's a very basic question. You mentioned about how the modes puts one in action. So my question is, because of our actions, are we attracting a particular mode to maybe guide us, or is it because of the mode we are in, we are doing a particular activity? So can you maybe elaborate on that?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. I think I had the same question as well, and from my understanding, it's actually both. Because Krishna in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 25th chapter, he explains to Uddhava all the characteristics of the three modes. He says that the modes, activities which we do, also have an impact on what modes are affecting us. Because in the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, what we are trying to do is we are trying to do activities which will situate us in the process of, in the mode of sattva, right? So by doing action, you can actually get into the mode of sattva as well. But these modes can impel us and make us do actions as well. So both works. But it's more like a hack. So if you want to get situated in one mode, we can probably eat food which are predominantly in the mode of sattva. Then we can avoid rajas and tamas foods. And then similarly, we can do actions which are in the mode of sattva. For example, we can read, we can increase our knowledge. Those are all in the mode of sattva, which will help us again get situated in the mode of sattva more. But to your point, both act, right? But this is we can use the action portion of it to actually get us situated in the mode of sattva, rajas or tamas, whatever we want to do.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class. One of the things that you mentioned is we need to get rid of the upadhis that we have, various designations in order to go to the Shuddha Sattva platform. So what does that actually mean in the practical way? Like for us to function in day-to-day life, we need to have different roles.
Yeah.
So how do we, navigate through that?
Yeah, sure. You definitely know the answer to this question, but I'll try to answer from what I understand, bro. So Krishna says in the Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami says, Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulya Krishna anushilanam. So he says Anya bilashita shunyam. So you should not have any attachment other than Krishna. And jnana karma di anavritam. We should get rid of all the coverings of jnana and karma. That anukuliyana Krishna anushilanam. Do everything which are in line with what Krishna has told. Right. So those are the three things which Krishna mentions, which is mentioned by Rupa Goswami, who is the foremost acharya in our parampara. So when we say leaving all these upadhis is actually a gradual process, and Krishna has to help us, but we start by not doing things which Krishna doesn't want us to do. And we start, for example, we become not attached to our work per se. I know it's very lofty, but this is like, if we understand that the work we do is to maintain our family and our children, but not get attached to the fruits of the work, rather, and not be so engrossed in this jnana and karma process as well. So by doing that, by aligning ourselves and being harmonious with Krishna, so from what I heard from Gauranga Prabhu is that typically when we start this process of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, the overlap between where we want to be and what our true inclinations are not harmonious. But gradually, by doing the process of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, we get to a stage where our true intentions and what the goal is become harmonized, which means that we internally and we by nature want to serve Krishna. So at that point, all the upadhis, besides the fact that we are the true devotion, Gopi Padakamal or Dasa Dasanudas, the true position as the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes established, and that is the situation which Rupa Goswami is mentioning as Sarva Upadhi Vinirmuktam. So which is a highly lofty state, but we start with the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti with the goal that even if it takes 10-15 janmas, but we'll eventually get there. So that's the goal. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. Anybody? Okay. Hare Krishna.
Very good.
A big round of applause for His Grace, HariHara Narayan Prabhu. Very nice class. Thank you so much. That's really appreciated. A lot of knowledge imparted in less than 1 hour. So thank you so much. So next weekend is going to be Mother's Day. So we're going to have a special program for mothers, but everybody is obviously welcome. So we're going to be talking about mothers and the importance of mothers, and we're also going to have a small interactive section next week. So please come. Everybody's welcome to come, and we hope to have an extra special program just because it's Mother's Day. So that's next weekend. And we also have summer camp coming up from the 3rd to the 7th of June, Monday through Friday. So if you have any children and you'd like them to participate in the summer camp, please let us know. There is Ramakrishna Prabhu standing there. He can sign you up, or you can sign up online as well. And we have Narasimha Chaturdashi coming up on the 21st of May this month, and it's a Tuesday. So we still plan to celebrate it on Tuesday, and there's going to be a yagya like every year. We do a Narasimha Homa on Narasimha Chaturdashi. So please join us. The yagya will be from 5 to 6:30, and then from 6:30 to 7 o'clock there's going to be the Arati. And then from 7 to 8 there's going to be a special guest speaker. We have His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu coming from India, and he's going to be giving the class on the Tuesday. Prabhu is going to be here for 3 days. He's going to be here a couple of days before then, and we're going to have some home programs also with him. So please mark your calendars and save the date for the temple. 21st of May is Narasimha Chaturdashi, and the yagya will start at 5 o'clock. We appreciate it's going to be a working day and so forth, but that's the best way we could plan it, was 5 o'clock yagya. And it's very, very auspicious to participate in the Narasimha Yagya. You get a lot of protection from Narasimha Dev. So that's on the 21st of May. Please join us. And we have our ongoing programs. Please visit our Facebook page and our web page. We start our mornings with chanting. We have group chanting, and we also talk about how to improve our chanting. That's from 5 o'clock in the morning till 5:40. And then from 5:40 to 6 o'clock, we read some verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is via Zoom, and it's also on YouTube. So if you're not able to join us in the morning, you can just catch up with the YouTube recording at a time that's convenient for you. But it's really a wonderful way to start the day. And if you're a day late, that's okay. Just continue listening to that, and it's very, very refreshing. It's all our temple devotees like Bharadwaj Prabhu participate and give some really wonderful explanations on the purpose of Srila Prabhupada as one day. It makes it very easy to digest what's in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So try and join us if you can in the mornings. Then we also read Srimad Bhagavatam at the temple from 7:35 to 8:15, and that's in person or via Facebook or Zoom. So there's 3 ways you can connect at 7:35 with the temple. And then in the evenings, the Vaishnavis read Srimad Bhagavatam from 4:30 to 5:15. And that is only from Monday through Friday, and that's via Zoom. So if you can find time, they're almost finishing it. We're reading from Canto 11 right now. And then, as you know, there's 12 cantos. We have 1 more canto to go. And then we are hoping to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita after that. And that's Mataji's program in the afternoons. And then our youth also read from Srimad Bhagavatam on Sundays via Zoom from 2 to 3. So if you have youth who would like to connect, please do so. They're really doing wonderfully. They are under the direction of Her Grace Namapriya Devidasi, but the children take it upon themselves to read Srimad Bhagavatam and explain it the way they understand it under her guidance, and it's really remarkable how well they have come along. And most of those youth were attending our Vedic school over the years, and now a couple of them are also going to university, and they're still participating in that. So I'm really proud of our youth. So if you have youth who would like to join, please do so. And again, a reminder, summer camp from the 3rd to the 7th of June. And we have our yoga classes. We've added a weekday now. We used to have it on Saturdays from 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. And now we also have yoga classes in the evenings on Wednesdays from 7 to 8. So if you'd like to join the yoga classes, they're available. And we also have Hindi classes that we offer online on Saturdays from 3 to 4. And we offer puja and catering services at the temple. And I think that's about, and we also have Bhakti Vriksha programs that we have on Saturdays or Fridays. And again, that's a nice way to start the weekend. You meet like-minded people. There are family programs. There are programs for the adults and children, side by side. And they're normally from 7 to 9. They're very punctual and really wonderful way to progress. And if you have any questions, you can ask. They're informal gatherings of like-minded people. We read from the scriptures and then we discuss, and then there's prasadam served after that. So that's Bhakti Vriksha groups. If you would like any more information, you can ask any of the temple devotees. But I see some of the Bhakti Vriksha leaders here. We've got Shri Govinda Prabhu. You can raise your hand. And who else is here? Namapriya Mataji, Vamshi Prabhu. So we have several, then we also have flyers here with the information and phone numbers on them. They're at the back there. If you'd like to help yourself to the flyers, the information is on those flyers. I'm going to end with the announcements. We'd like to today take opportunity now to thank the sponsors of the Sunday feast. We have Pramod Kumar Bhoktavam. Is the family here? Pramod Kumar Bhoktavam. Hare Krishna. Please come and receive Mahaprasadam. They have sponsored today's feast for simple Annadan. So Next, we have Venkatesh Dhyan Bobade in memory of their father, Dhyan Bobade. Is the family here? The Bobade family? Okay. Please give them a big round of applause. We'll catch up with them later. Then we have Vyas family. We have Raj, son of Chirag and Pinky Vyas, celebrating graduation. He just got graduation in MA in electrical engineering. Please come and receive the Mahaprasad. And their grandparents are here as well to celebrate the graduation. Please come and receive Mahaprasad. Is Raj here? Oh, Raj is not here, so we have mom and grandparents celebrating the graduation. So we'll catch up with Raj or we'll send the Mahavidyu. And then last but not least, we have Shobha Mai and Krishna Kumar Prabhu celebrating 2 birthdays. There's daughter Harsha and son Rishikesh. Please come and receive Mahaprasad. Please give them a big round of applause. Shobha Mai and... Is Krishna Kumar Prabhu here? No? Just by yourself? Okay. Big round of applause for Shobha Mai Mataji. She's a big supporter of our Bhakti Vriksha program, and she's always there chanting in the morning from 5 o'clock onwards, sometimes before that, and also participates in giving the classes in the morning. Thank you so much for your seva. Hare Krishna. Mataji also manages with others our cultural programs for Rath Yatra and Janmashtami, and whenever we want cultural program help, we go to Shobha Mai Mataji, so you actually see her today. She's always hiding in the background, so thank you very much for your support. And I think that's all. So anybody can, and we have a cake for Raj, so we'll be cutting a cake in Raj's absence, and we don't have the birthday girl and boy either here, so, but anyways, there's a cake for Raj we'll be cutting there as well before we honor Prasadam. So right now we'll be forming one line for blessings. We'll have the seniors and the volunteers and children come first. They'll also be taking Prasadam first, and then the rest of us can join the line. Thank you so much for your support. Hare Krishna.
प्रसादे गोविंदे नमो ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यव्रतं राजन् श्वस्तु नैव जायते शरीर विद्याजाल चौदेन्द्रियता है काल जीवे पहले विषय सागरे तार मध्य जीवादि लोभ माया सुदुर्मति ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्णा बड़ा दया मोय करी बारे जीवा जाए सप्रसादन न दिलो बाय से अन्नामृत पावो श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमी डाको श्री चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। भगवत महाप्रसादम की जय।
कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhav Hari Radha Madhav Hari Radhe Jaya Radha Madhav Hari Radha Madhav Hari Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Radhe.
Jayo Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe.
Jayo Srinaji Gopal, Srinaji Gopal, Srinaji Gopal, Jayo Srinaji Gopal.
Jayo Srinaji Gopal, Srinaji Gopal, Srinaji Gopal, Jayo Srinaji Gopal.
Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman.
Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman,
Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman. Jayo Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jayo Subhadra.
Jayo Jagannatha,
Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jayo Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nam Sankirtan ki jai.
Jai Prabhupada ki jai. अब श्री राम ஒரு ஃபீட்பேக் மாதிரி அதே தான் அதுக்கப்புறம் தெரியும் அது பண்ணினா அது வந்து கான்ஷியஸ்னஸ்ல எல்லாத்துக்குமே